Hey there, this is Josh at Ohio Grove. Join me today as I go ahead and start repotting up these two junipers. Alright, first we're going to get them out of the pot. So let's see what they look like. Planted them with a lot of gravel. These were planted about 2 years ago in these pots. I collected them, the trees from my property. As you can see, there's some root growth there at the bottom. So let's go ahead and start digging away here and revealing the root base. So here I go with pot number one. Slowly taking away bits of wire that we're holding the pot in, or the plant in. And let's see what type of root base we've got down here, if any. Looks like there's some roots throughout here, so that's good to see. Alright, I'm going to keep on working on that, and we'll come back when I'm done. So here's the first plant. Going ahead and taking all the dirt out as much as I can. I'm not going to go ahead and wash this. I'm going to keep some of that dirt on there. If there's any kind of microbiology or anything in there kind of keeping it alive, I don't want to get rid of that. So some of that original soil still on there too from the property. It's very hard clay soil, so I got as much of that off as I could, but you can see I've got a good radial root flare already starting here and here. We've got some roots coming out, so I'm probably going to go ahead and see if I can't get rid of, oh, that'd be pretty drastic if I cut it right here, cut all this off. Let's start our way from the bottom up today. We're going to go ahead and find my root scissors here, and we're just going to give it a haircut here. Those are way too long. Now, let's see, we've got a really thick root right here. Let's look back down here. This has a little bit better lighting. You can see what we're doing here. I'm thinking these can spread out. I'm thinking this guy's coming off right here. And so is that guy coming off right there. That can spread out. Whoa, we're gonna trim him off a little bit. This chunk right here, we're gonna take that branch off. Alright, let me show you what I'm looking at. This looks like it's dangling downwards, but really, it could go out. So I'm looking at this much right here. Sorry, I'm looking at this much for soil. I don't know if I want to take it up any further than that. Seeing as this is its real first root pruning, from when I did a extraction from the original soil, I don't know how much I want to take off. I think I'm going to play it safe and keep it like this for now. We're going to move on to the second tree and do the same thing. Alright, second tree coming out of the pot. Let's see what type of root growth we have on this guy. Similar. Oh yeah, lots at the bottom. There's all that gravel I put in there. Oh, lots of gravel at the bottom. The roots definitely liked that gravel, didn't they? Look at all that. It's amazing. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and start removing the soil around the base of this tree as well. And I will catch up with you again. So here's it, tree number 2. And I think that's some really, I'm really happy with that. You can see we've got some radial roots coming out. I love this little little, just the form of that, and this little doodle, right? We're gonna definitely keep that. I don't know. These guys might have to come off. Obviously, those are gonna get trimmed off. Yeah, maybe. They're so pretty. I don't know. Maybe I leave them. But I think she needs a haircut. That's definitely for sure. So we are going to trim those monster roots back. Lots of root growth in 2 years. Really amazing. I just had it in there with normal dirt and some gravel mixed in there with it. The field dirt was more like a clay, but seems to be pretty happy. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see if any of these are stiff. Nope. So these are all, splay out like this to where, hopefully you can see that angle. So you can see they'll all kind of splay out like that in the pot. So this, I can encourage this radial root growth to keep going. And hopefully I'll get some stronger roots coming out that way in the pot. So let's go ahead and, speaking of pots, decide which ones we're going to use. All right, I've got my different pots here that I want to use. I have all different kinds here. Found this at the dollar store. It's just a net basket, but we could line that. You could put your soil directly in there, or you can just line it with some fabric, like landscaping fabric. That's water permeable, so the water goes through, and that would be perfect. Air would still get in there to the roots, and that might be a nice idea to let those roots grow. The other idea is actually a 3D printed bonsai pot that I made last year. I believe this was on Nigel Saunders' channel, or his on Thingiverse is where I found it. I might be mistaken, but I think that's where I got this. I've used it before. It's a pretty good pot. It might be useful for one of the trees to put in. The other option are these two things. I've got a takeaway dish. I collect these from usually Indian food or Chinese food restaurants. They're good trainer pots. You just pop a couple holes here in the bottom and you're good to go. They're shallow enough, they're the right shape, they're the right dimensions, so that when you are ready to transfer it in a couple of years to a ceramic pot, you've kind of got that radial root base. Your roots are contained already. They're good trainer pots, so that's an option, or this as well. Now this was actually a small chicken that was in here, a roasted chicken that you might find at a grocery store. So if you do use these or a takeaway, make sure you wash it out super good with lots of soap and water. You want to get rid of any and all bacteria. So again, if I do choose to use this, I'd go ahead and pop some holes here in the bottom, drainage holes. But this might be good too, because it is so deep compared to this guy here, right? It's got the two different dimensions there. So any or all of these we're going to use today. I don't know. It's going to be two of these four for both plants. But let's go ahead and find out what looks best. All right, here's my first tree. I did notice that it had kind of a deeper root base there. I've got a lot more roots spread out on this one, so I'm gonna need something a little bit deep, and that's not bad, but we've got it right at the bottom there. And if I have the soil up to here, I'm gonna have it mounded up here, which would be fine. I mean, that's fine. I'm a little proud of it. That's an option. The other option is using this net pot, which, looking at it, is not beautiful, right? But we're not after beauty with the pot. At this moment, we're after training the roots. So it's definitely deep enough. I mean, if I push it all the way down gently, we're down to here, which is plenty enough room. And if I wanted to prop it up and get some deeper roots, I could do it that way as well. I think for this tree, because the roots are spread out and I don't have a lot of radial roots right now, I think I'm going to use this one and try to train the next couple years, try to train it in this pot to get those radial roots spread out. I think that's what I'm going to do with this guy. Alright, now for my second tree. My initial thought was I was going to put him in this guy. Let's see if I can get those to spread out. So that's not bad. They've definitely spread out gently, and there's still some room there to play with. That's an option. It's very shallow though. Like, I'd have that fill in a year probably, full of roots. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, that's kind of what you want. You're training it to be in a pot. Let me look at the other options I've got here. Alright, we got this chicken one here. That, it has a lot more room to spread out in, a lot more room to grow in. I think I'd be comfortable putting it in there only because that other one's a little small, and this is its really first pot into like a bonsai type shape. It's first potting into a bonsai shape, I should say. So yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. I just feel safer. I want there to be enough room, enough root growth, so that when I do pot it up into a bonsai pot, there's plenty of healthy roots. So let's go with this guy. Here's the tree placed on the initial layer of soil. Notice I go ahead and spread out the roots, so they're kind of radiating outwards, and hopefully that will stimulate more radial root growth. I'm going to go ahead and add some more soil, fill it up to about right here. So let's see and check back here in a minute. So I went ahead and finished potting this one up, and added some gravel on top for just a simple soil dressing. I'll probably incorporate some moss and other items during the course of the year in a later video. I also put a rock here because I didn't wire this tree into the pot, only because I've got such fine root growth in there. I didn't want to disturb any of it, so I figured I'll just put it in there, get that soil really good in around the roots, and then just kind of weight it down with this. And then after successive waterings and root growth establishment and stuff, that'll be good, and she'll be able to carry her own weight in there. I'm very happy with this tree. I like these two little trees I've got here. This one is really pretty. It's got great movement to it. I think, just kind of, it's just a graceful movement to it. I did do some styling and some pruning over the last couple of years, and it definitely has a lot of potential, I think. For now, I've just placed it in here with not worrying too much about what the front is. This one's pretty good to go. We're going to get started on the next one. I'm very happy with this tree. I love all the little details on this tree. I love the movement of it. I love down here at the base near the trunk. There's a lot of character, a lot of movement and fluidity that I've kind of trained into it over the last couple of years. We'll see how she does in the spring. Hopefully she likes the new training pot. Let's move on to the next tree. My goal for this is just to encourage root growth, so I'm not concerned about where the top of this is or where it isn't. I'm going to add some more soil. All right, here's tree number one. Kind of backwards there, but that's all right. Pretty happy with this guy too. I'm glad I got him in a pot where those roots can kind of really go to town. I'm happy to see the results of this in a couple of years. I didn't put another rock on top. There's plenty of weight here with the top dressing of gravel and how deep it is inside of the soil that I'm not too concerned about it falling out. She's pretty well secure inside of there. Or he is, I guess. I guess this one is kind of masculine, right? It's kind of upright, and there's a little bit of a dead branch there. Not as fluid as the other one. I mean, I have these funky, weird branches out here I got to figure out what to do with. I like them to an extent. They could form really cool pads. I just don't want to overwire this guy. He put on a lot of growth over this last summer. This whole area pretty much kind of went to town, and I just let it grow. So I won't prune either of these up probably until springtime or so. I'm just going to let them kind of sit and simmer in their new pots for a while. I might not even touch them this year, to be honest. I just want to let them grow and get on some nice vigorous growth. But we'll see. We'll see what the year brings. Sometimes I can't resist. So that's it for today on Ohio Grove. If you liked the video, go ahead and click subscribe down below, or click like, or do both. That'd be cool too. You know how this lovely modern algorithm goes. That's about it. Stay tuned for the next video. It's coming up soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.